Debbie Sapirian remembers the spring of 2011. She and her now deceased husband lived on a ranch in Clancy. They hiked, rode horses, and took care of animals. But that all would change one sunny morning.
I was in and out of there within 5 minutes.
She was grabbing her cat's food dishes out of an old chicken coop. That 5-minute chore changed her life.
I had to be on my hands and knees, and there's poop all along the edges, everywhere. And so my face was this close to it.
The symptoms started about a week later, feeling very ill with severe neck and back pain, along with respiratory problems. Her memory is foggy, but she remembers being driven to the hospital. Doctors thought it was influenza or pneumonia.
And they'd send me home. They didn't know what was wrong with me.
It took 3 different trips before they realized Debbie had contracted the Hantavirus. Confused, scared, and hallucinating, she was hospitalized.
I flatlined twice, and they couldn't get me ventilated because I was just too erratic, and they couldn't get me sedated.
Hantavirus is a potentially fatal disease carried in by the urine and droppings of some rodents. In Montana, it's found in deer mice.
That's really the only mouse that we see that transmits hantavirus in Montana.
Rachel Hennekamp, epidemiologist with the Department of Public Health and Human Services, says since 1993, there have been a total of 43 recorded cases of hantavirus in Montana. 10 of those cases have been fatal.
Hantavirus can be a very severe and sometimes fatal disease.
People contract the virus when they disturb and inhale dust containing the urine or feces of infected rodents.
There's no vaccine, there's no medical prevention.
Since 1993, there have been 697 confirmed cases of hantavirus nationwide, a relatively small number. However, more than a third of those cases have been fatal. Another complication, diagnosis, is difficult in the early stages because these symptoms are similar to influenza or pneumonia.
I feel I'm a lucky one because I lived.
Debbie woke up 7 days later in the hospital. She tells me her son, Wyatt, kept her strong in her fight against the virus.
I thought of my son. He needed me, and his dad was so ill. That's all I thought, Wyatt, Wyatt, Wyatt. And my support is my son and my family. I think you gotta have that.
But it has had a lasting effect. She suffers lasting spinal and neurological damage.
You have to learn everything all over again.
She says she had to relearn how to walk and still has trouble getting her thoughts together. But she is still staying strong. And has a message she shares with other hantavirus survivors across the U.S.
Stay strong. Keep your head up. Try to stay positive.
In Helena, Lindsey Ford, MTN News.